Okay, this video is about parallax backgrounds. So it's all about the character. When you move the character in games I've had in the past or other games out there, there's games that move the character back and forth and the background doesn't move. Well, it moves when the character moves, but it doesn't move in different directions. And this kind of makes it kind of 3D looking in the background, like the games out there now, like Mario and stuff like that, the newer games for, scrolling games basically. The background moves in different locations, so when the character moves, the mountains might move a little bit slower than the clouds or the bushes or something, and that's what I'm doing here. And there's other games out there that you move the character and the whole background moves along with the character, but in this situation, different objects in the background move at different speeds, making it look like a 3D effect. So it's pretty cool. So let me show you what I'm talking about, and this is all about for your Windows device, and I'll do another video on the Android device. Alright, so let me show you. Alright, so right now it's static, it's not moving, the background's not moving, but when the character moves, see how the background moves at different speeds? We got the clouds and the mountains and the bushes move at different speeds. And that's all about parallax backgrounding. Okay, so let me show you how to do that. It's pretty simple. So all these objects here, I have 3 different objects. I have one on the clouds, it's a ping file, and then I have a ping file on the mountains, and I have a ping file on the bushes. So in the backgrounds, you go to your backgrounds and you want to go to create background, and load, and then you want to load up your images. So I loaded up my images and I have clouds, that's background 0. Then I have background 1, which is my mountains here. And it can be a small image. You don't have to have the whole thing reach the full width of your background. I just have this mountain here and this small mountain here, and that's it. The width is 827, height is 387. It's pretty short. Then I have a background 2, and it's the bushes. And you can go into the edit background and you can scale, go to transform here. You can go to transform here and scale down your bushes. You can have them go big or you can have them go small. And then in your backgrounds, when you go to your backgrounds in your room here, and you set all this up. So basically, your background 0 is going to be your clouds. So, and you can rename these if you want. You can rename these, and it'll show up in the box here. But for this demonstration, I just called it background 0. So I don't know, you might be able to, let me just make sure you can do this before I tell you. Clouds. I would just stick with background 0 because Game Maker has a default for their images, and you might get confused on what you have for each image, so just keep it at background. 0. That way everything is consistent. It matches up with what GameMaker has as default, because it doesn't change. When you change this to clouds, it doesn't change this. Let me try this again. I don't think it does. No, it doesn't change it. So just keep it at backgrounds. This one's background 0. Just keep it at background 0, because that way you stay consistent, it matches, so you know what you have going on here. Alright, so in background 0 is the clouds. And the way you adjust this stuff is make this checked at tile horizontal. You don't want to have it. You don't want to have tile vertical or have it stretch, because it's going to look too big. No, just keep it at tile horizontal. Then your X and Y axis, you can adjust your images where you want the clouds to be located at. I put mine at 50. You can have it at 0 and it goes up. See how the images went up? You can move it right or left using the X axis, and then Y will make it go up and down. So I had it at 50. Keep your horizontal and vertical speed at 0, because if you mess with these numbers here, then your clouds will move automatically without you moving. So if you want the clouds to move when you're not moving, then you can mess with this right here. And maybe I will mess with the clouds, because clouds usually move by itself anyways. So I'll do a horizontal. I'll do maybe like a 5 speed. So when I'm not moving, the clouds will move. Or if I'm moving, the clouds will move too. But clouds usually move by themselves anyways. So you could have a speed on that for clouds. Then for your background 1, it's going to be your mountains here. Somehow it duplicated it. I don't know why it duplicated it. But anyways, that don't happen. I already have it in there in the first place, so okay, background 1, make sure it's set to visible in the room for all 3 of your backgrounds. Make sure it's visible in room. Make sure it's tiled, horizontal, and then I have my mountains at 100 positioned, and then on the background 2, which is the bushes, I have it at 275. I'm gonna bring this thing back in again. I'm not sure what's going on with it. Should have duplicated it. Okay, so background 0. And then I have background 1. And then I have background 2. Alright, so basically already it's in there. So I set all my backgrounds up in there. 2, 1, and 0. Make sure it's tilted to horizontal for all your backgrounds, and then adjust your images where you want them at using the X and Y axis. And I'm going back to clouds. I'm not sure why it's duplicating it here. I think because I've already put it in the room. If you do foreground image, it bring it in front of the character, and it'd probably be good for like fog or something. But I don't need the foreground image. All right, so that's the first step. The second step is to go into your object player here, and then go into your step event. And you're going to add this code right here. So for your object player, you have a code in there for the step event, and just go to add event, go to step, then bring over a coded sheet from the control tab, and then you want to add this background underscore X bracket 0 in bracket equals view underscore X view / 1.4 semicolon or parentheses, the dot comma. So basically this is stating for the background 0, which is going to be the clouds, the speed for it's going to be at 1.4. So it's kind of going like medium slowness. Then we got background underscore X bracket 1 in bracket equals view underscore X view / 4. So that's going kind of quick for the mountain scene in the background. And then you have n dot comma background underscore X bracket 2 in bracket equals view underscore X view / 2.5. Then dot comma. So that's moving kind of slow, a little faster than the clouds. Alright, so when the character starts moving, then that's when all the objects starts moving at certain speeds. That's what it's basically stating. When you're not moving, then everything stops in the background. Nothing moves. Unless you have the clouds moving by themselves. When I was talking about the horizontal speed, you can have it set to a speed where it will move on its own if you wanted to. So, like I said, when you're not moving, nothing moves in the background. When you're moving, things start to move at a certain speed when you're moving your character back and forth. And like I said, I could have had these clouds moving automatically when I was talking about the horizontal. So I could put 10 in there, and it doesn't move. I don't know. That's weird. Well, I don't know about that part. Yeah, it's not moving right. Yeah, I would not mess with the horizontal speed for the clouds. I don't know why it's not moving correctly. I think because it has code in there for the parallax backgrounds in there. I think that's what's causing it to not move by itself. Let me go into character and maybe take out that step. If I take this out, okay, see? So the clouds will move by themselves. So in the background, if I can get this down, if you want the clouds to move by themselves, you can do the speed, but do not add the parallax code. Okay. So if you want the clouds to move on their own when you're not moving, then you can change the horizontal speed. But do not add the code for the clouds in here, because then it won't work. If you add the code for the clouds in here, then the clouds will move by them. They'll move on their own when you move with the character. But if you want them to move by themselves when you're not moving, do not add this code in here, because otherwise it won't work. So take the code out for the clouds if you want the clouds to move by themselves when you're not moving. If you want the clouds to move along your character when you're moving, then add the code. Do not add the horizontal speed in the background.